We're back today with another league race in FFRL, Fast Fridays Racing League, and it's round 3 today, the Singapore Grand Prix. And for the first time this season then, we've got a sprint weekend then. No qualifying for this, it's actually decided by the reverse championship order, but then anyone who has yet to finish a race starts at the back, so yeah, you can't get an advantage there from having not started or not finished a race yet this season. So we're not quite second from last then, as you'll have seen last time things went quite well for us and we moved up to second in the championship. So yeah, we are starting quite far back, but thankfully not too far back. But yeah, as mentioned last time, things went better than expected in Imola. We won the race. Now, I did say there was a steward's investigation hanging over it, and I did post it in the comments of that video, but I'm guessing not everyone will have seen that. But we got given a 10-second penalty and 3 penalty points, so it didn't affect the race result, but still felt very excessive for what I thought was clearly, a misunderstanding. Like, I wasn't trying to be clever, as someone in the chat in our Discord chat described it. That certainly wasn't the case. I genuinely thought I was being let through, but yeah, I guess, if that was a mistake, then fair enough. But I don't know, just like the 3 penalty points as well, because it's the same as real F1, 12 and you get a race ban, but they also got 8 for a qualifying ban. So like, I'm nearly halfway there just from what was, a complete misunderstanding, and I guess a mistake from the game maybe, but certainly didn't really feel like I did anything drastically wrong there. But regardless, we still took the win, so I guess I shouldn't be too annoyed about it for now. And we've got this sprint that we're ready to start, so we'll see what we can do. This decides the grid for the main race as well, so we want to try and do as best we can. We've got the lights, and we are underway then for this sprint, and we've had a pretty good start here then, already looking at both Rolly and Mando, as there's been a crash in front of us and I went on the brakes even though there was a lot of ghosting. But yeah, it's just absolute carnage then. Several cars off the road. Lolly and the McLaren there I saw was already wrecked and out of the race. We've managed to get an illegal overtake somehow from avoiding all those cars that were going off the track there, so we give that place back and we're up into 14th then, so we have made one place off the start. But yeah, just absolute pandemonium in that first corner there, and even before the first corner in fact as well, as we've now got Retro Cheesy there going very slowly into turn 6 there. So yeah, that's a place gain for us then, and we're up into 13th and having to take avoiding action there because Taze was going for a dive there on the inside, but thankfully we saw them coming there. Looks like Mando with damage, so that was quite a straightforward overtake there, up into 12th. But yeah, just a very hectic start to the sprint race here then, as we see it again. Now, I believe someone let out the rear tyres here. I think it was Foster now in the Mercedes there, and they went into one of the racing bulls. So yeah, that caused some of the carnage then. Lolly and the McLaren got completely wiped out. I think W in the Red Bull as well, and then one of the Aston Martin drivers also getting caught up in that one as well. So yeah, quite an eventful first corner there. Quite a very messy one. It's been very clean from what I've seen mostly in this tier so far this season. But anyway, skip on to lap 2 then, and Rolly a little bit out of shape there, as we've also got Mido and the other Sauber there also hitting some trouble. So yeah, Rolly the championship leader at this stage then. We're second, so obviously this is a bit of an interesting fight here then, but it's for no points at the moment because it's only the top 8 scoring points in the sprint. But Rolly is just about holding on to his position then for the time being. But yeah, obviously this is a little bit uncharted territory for both of us so far this season then, down the field. So yeah, we've got a big ground to make up, and obviously we've got 41 laps then of racing to decide where we will eventually end up then today. But yeah, Rolly just about hangs on to that one then, although did sort of outbrake themselves and go over the chicane a little bit to do that. But anyway, we had a bit of a slide as well, so we couldn't really put pay to it. As we skip on to lap 3 then, where there's a yellow flag up in front of us, and it is because Kieran there is in the wall. He didn't quite do a Russell there, but he sort of went to the inside line to try and move, and I think just the gap wasn't really there, so it wasn't quite a Russell move, it was on the other barrier. But yeah, the same result then, going straight on into the barriers there. And then later on in the lap we've also got TV Clan there, who was disconnected, which is a shame for them because they were quite high up the grid then. So yeah, that has put paid to their sprint race then, and also their race as well then, because they'll be starting from further back, as there's contact there between Tyler and Liam, and that allows us to get alongside Liam then, as but then running outside he manages to fight back there then, and now Jim is getting in on the action as well there, so gonna have to watch out behind us as well, as Rolly there very slow. I'm not sure if that was just Harvest in ERS there, but Liam's back through, and yeah, we thought better about making the move down the inside. I think that's what Kieran did, and that's how we ended up in the wall there. So yeah, we made sure to try and keep our car intact then, because yeah, obviously there's points and also grid position at stake here, so don't want to be going into anything too rash here. The reason for there not being a safety car for any of these instances because it is turned off in the sprints, but it will be back on for the main race, so that is why we have not had any safety cars, when you would probably be expecting there to have been at least 2 already then in this race. But yeah, that's why, as we're still seeing in this battle between Liam and Rolly for 7th place at the moment, and we're going to try and get in on the action as well here and finally get ourselves up into the points positions, as we're on the inside here of Liam into the first corner, still side by side, and it looks like that McLaren actually has some front wing damage there, so really we should be getting this move done if we can, because yeah, we should have quite a bit of a pace advantage here. We are eventually through, but we've just dropped out a second there of Rolly, so we're going to have to do a little bit of defending here then down this back straight here. Well, it's not really a straight, but it's a flat out section, so yeah, we'll call it one. And yeah, we're going defensive then into the left-hander, and Liam goes running outside there, but I'm not sure if I was over the white lines there. It kind of looked like it was, and then we've actually got a better line this time through the right-hander as he clattered the curb there, so we are eventually going to get this move done then and up into 8th position, finally into the points end in the sprint race with yeah, half of it still to go. And then we had quite a couple of laps finally after all that action, the opening stages, as we caught up to Tyler and Sloopy Gamer there. They're battling over 6th position at the moment, and it looks like we're quicker than both of them, so hopefully we can clear them both and maybe get up the road a little bit more then in these final few laps, as yeah, there's just no way through though in this little complex here towards the end of the lap. Obviously it used to be a lot worse when it had that extra chicane going under the stands, but yeah, even with that extra DRS straight, it is still quite difficult to overtake here, as yep, Tyler then a little bit out of shape into turn 1. That's going to allow Slow to go through there then, and yeah, still side by side though, as Tyler had the inside line, and yep, the Alpine is still there on the inside, and there's yep, just inevitable, I guess there's going to be contact there, so difficult to get a move done into that right-hander. Such an awkward angle to try and get the move done. You really have to commit to it, and yeah, unfortunately Sloopy Gamer didn't really do that, and yeah, it's very hard when you're on the outside there to give enough space without just completely running off the road there. So it's just one of those, yeah, it was just one of those inevitable incidents there, and I keep on like lifting off. It's because I've been doing so much what's it called, Assetto Corsa Competizione in these last couple of years since I've been doing F1 League racing, and there isn't really ghosting in that, so I've been sort of like it's still very much my instinct to like slam on the brakes when there's an incident in front of me, even though they quite often ghost in at the F1 games. As we're attacking Abdullah then, not Abdullah, Abdullah on the last lap then of this sprint. He does have a penalty anyway, so we don't actually need to get ahead, but I was hoping I could get the move done because it looked like we had enough pace to catch Tombstone as well, but no, it wasn't to be then, and we'll have to settle for, well, 6th on the track, but it will become 5th then because of that 3-second penalty there for Abdullah as we cross the line then. And yeah, it is indeed 5th position then for the main race, and it is 4 points to ascend for that result there then in the sprint. Up at the front it was Gamer Plays then who took the win and also takes pole position, with Alex in 2nd, and the championship leader Rolly then recovering to 3rd. As we now head into the main event, and as you can see we're all on slick tyres, but the rain has started to come down then on the formation lap. It was forecast for sort of like midway through the race, so this was quite a bit of a surprise here to see it start to rain on the formation lap. We're on the medium tyres then, we're doing the plan was to do one stop onto the hards, but yeah, it looks like we'll be going over to Inters quite early on in this race if this continues, but yeah, we had quite a chaotic start to the sprint race, so we'll be hoping it'll be a little bit tidier for the main start here, but obviously with these track conditions that could be quite wishful thinking then, but we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully now that everyone has got one start under their belt, yeah, this one will be a little bit tidier as we've got the lights coming on now. And away we go then, and it is quite a slow start there from Alex from the front row, so we should be having luck here then, but we were quite cautious on the brakes, and Mido there has had a great start and has actually overtaken us there into the first corner, so yeah, we're down a place then as, yeah, in fact Mido's going for fourth then as well, looks like past Rowley here, and well, it looks like the championship leader has just about held it then, but then the Sauber gets the cut back there and is up into fourth, so yeah, great start there from Mido, and yeah, we're back just behind Rowley there, but not for long there because braked very early there. I was quite surprised at that, and then I could see a car was driving to the inside as well, so I took a bit of avoiding action there, ran quite wide in turn 6, but yeah, I think it was probably the right thing to do there because it did look like there was potentially going to be an instant potentially stirring up there then, as we all sort of were about to meet there in turn 6, but yeah, we came out then on top of that little battle, so we're up into 5th place then, so decent start for us then. We skip on to lap 2 now then, where yeah, the rain is very much coming down now, and we've got Mido then attacking Tombstone then for the final podium spot. We're just behind as well then, so we'll be trying to get in on the action as well then, and also join this fight for the podium as Mido hits the back of Tombstone there and taps him into the barrier, so that is a place gained for us, and hopefully now we can capitalise on that mistake and really punish the Sauber here down the last DRS straight. But no, he just about manages to hold it, but then again goes over the chicane there. I'm not entirely sure of how legitimate that is to like defend that way, but it certainly happened to us a couple of times in this race so far, and yeah, we'll have to see if we can get the move done somewhere else then. So we skip on to lap 3, where we've got a great run once again then down towards turn 6. We're going to look to the inside here, and it looks like we've just about got it done then, but no, Mido hangs on around the outside and now has the inside line for the next turn, as we're getting a strategy call here to go over to the intermediate tyres. So yeah, only on lap 3, and it looks like we're already going to be going over to intermediate tyres here. It wasn't forecast for rain for the whole race. In fact, it was only showing like two stages of on the weather graphic for light rain, so I imagine we'll probably be back onto dries later on, but for the time being it looks like we have got some intermediate running then in this race. And it also looks like in these conditions we are slightly quicker than Mido here. We're really putting the pressure on the Sauber as they've once again gone deep into that right-hander, and that allows us to switch underneath them, and now with the DRS, which is still enabled at this stage, we are able to just pull away there and up into 3rd as the safety car is deployed right before everyone reaches the pit lane there. Not sure who that was for there, but yep, the safety car is now out, so that neutralises everything, and I guess anyone thinking of maybe staying out there is less likely to do so now then, as we come in then to put the intermediate tyres on, and most of the field then is coming in. I'm surprised it wasn't everyone, to be honest, there, as incumbent Wolf stays out, and we're also going to see someone else further back as well then. It is a McLaren there that's gone through of Lolly, so a bit surprised at that. As I mentioned, you know, it's not going to stay wet for the whole race, so maybe they're thinking they can outlast it on the dry tyres, but yeah, that'll be, I imagine, quite difficult to do then, as we rejoin then in 5th place. Yeah, with those two cars that have stayed out. In fact, Lolly did pit, so I'm not sure why they stayed out there, but incumbent Wolf then is still on the dry tyres and is going to be leading this restart then, whilst everyone else is on the intermediate. So yeah, this is going to be very interesting to see how this goes then. We'll see if they've got any chance of holding their position there at the front, as yeah, you can see it's still very much raining, so yeah, you wouldn't think it is any kind of condition for dry tyres at the moment, as we had a decent-ish restart there looking at Alex, but we couldn't quite make it stick, and then in fact that still allowed Mido to have another look at us around the outside there then, and yeah, can see the Racing Bull there just really struggling on those dry tyres, so it was quite straightforward for us in the end then. And there we go then, Mido very much with the confidence in that right-hander. I said it was quite difficult to overtake there, but that's what you got to do. You got to just be a lot quicker than the car in front and really go for the move, and yeah, that's what he did there then, and is back up into third place. So yeah, whilst I'd say we looked a bit quicker on the dry tyres, it certainly looks like Mido then is quite a bit quicker on the inters, judging by that move. Now we're skipping a few laps later where we're under VSC for, I'm not sure what the incident was, but yeah, we were under a brief virtual safety car here then. Getting ready to go green at this point, and yeah, you can see the rain has actually stopped here as we're getting ready now to go green, and in fact DRS gets enabled then as soon as we go green, so that would suggest that it is now time to go back onto the dry tyres. We haven't had a call yet, but what with it being DRS enabled, you'd think that now the dry tyres would probably be the ones to go on then, so we're going to go for it then. We're going to try and see if we can take these hard tyres to the end of the race then. And yeah, it certainly looks like we're not the only person who has thought of this then, because Alex has also come in then for a stop, and I believe they will be going on to the hard tyres as well. Indeed they are. And yeah, in we come then for our well, what we think will be our last stop then of this race. That's what we plan to do. And yep, Rolly is coming behind us then as well, so yeah, a few of us have gone quite early here then, so we'll see then if it was indeed the right call to put them on this early before our engineer had even told us to do so, as we're tiptoeing around these first few corners then. And in fact Alex has lost it straight away there then, which I was actually quite surprised at, because it didn't feel that bad, but maybe he just was a little bit eager there on the ERS, I'm not sure, but yeah, just completely lit it up there then, and yeah, was off the road. Well, not off the road, but into the barriers certainly. And yeah, that is a place game for us then, up into 12th. But obviously, you imagine everyone will be changing off those intermediates this lap, or very soon anyway. As yeah, we get to the end of the lap then, and most people are in now then, so yeah, that's going to move us up quite a lot of places here then, but we'll see where we come out. And in fact we are just behind Jim, who was behind us before, but round outside we'll see if we can get this move done. But no, he's managed to just about get ahead of us then, so we've actually lost a little bit of time there from pitting early, it looks like, although our tyres should be all nice and warmed up now, so we should be able to go on the attack here of Jim, and also Mido here down towards the end of this DRS zone. And yeah, let me inside, we get the move done then, and we're back up into 4th place. And yeah, it is a net third then, because I think there is still one more car up in front that has yet to pit. And yeah, we'll see then, because we were looking a bit quicker than Mido when we were on the dry tyres before, so hopefully we can put that to some good use again then here. Mido with a 10-second penalty there for speeding in the pit lane, so yeah, in theory then we should just be able to stick with him here, and we should get that place. But if possible, it would be good to get ahead if we are quicker, because obviously game of plays there, still a few seconds at the road, so it'd be interesting to see if we could do anything about him up at the front there. Also Jim behind us with a 3-second penalty, so I guess we technically don't have to worry about the car behind the side there, as we're attacking Mido then towards this chicane, but this time manages to hold it quite nicely there, and yeah, maintains that 3rd place as Tombstone now pits then, stayed out a lap longer on the intermediate tyres, and now the safety car is deployed again, just as we went past the pit lane, but I don't think there was any real benefit to us trying to pit there anyway, so that doesn't matter too much then, and we're back up into 3rd position. And what that really does then is put us quite back close to the race leader again, so yeah, I don't think that really does any harm at all there then. And we're going to get ready to go racing then again on lap 14, so we'll see what we can do this time then. See if Game of Plays once again runs off at the front, because that's what they've done pretty much all through this race so far then. And yeah, we'll see if there's anything we can do, but we've really got to try and get past that Sauber if we can, because it has looked like we've been slightly quicker in the dry conditions, or at least when we've been on dry tyres anyway, so yeah, it would be good to get ahead here then. Obviously a lot of cars around us now then are sitting on penalties, so yeah, we're still looking in a pretty good position here, but yeah, just not been able to do anything with it so far in terms of making up ground. But yeah, we're certainly putting the pressure then on Mido at this stage. He's making quite a few mistakes here, and in fact it does look like he's actually damaged his front wing there, so yeah, we should hopefully get this move done quite soon, as we're really trying to go for it here then. Going for a very unconventional chance to pass there, but yeah, it was never going to work out, I don't think. So yeah, it was quite wise, I think, to back out of that one, as Jim is now getting in on the action. And yeah, we're just about holding on to our position then as we went over the bridge there. We've got DRS now then, so we'll see what we can do. Well, we may just be defending though from Jim, who's really going on the attack now then. Going to try and make us pay for not getting this move done sooner. And yeah, we're side by side then into this last DRS zone, but we just tagged the inside wall there. Hit into Jim, hit into the wall, and that is our race over. My headphones went flying. I could not believe I did that. It was just such a silly, unnecessary mistake there. And yeah, just threw away what was looking like it was going to be a great result. And yeah, that was just really, really stupid. Just a really bad misjudgment, and yeah, it had very big consequences. But someone who drove excellently through, well, both of these races tonight was Gamer Plays in the Red Bull. Not quite sure where they started on the grid. I think they were quite near the front. I don't think they've had the best start to the season, but well, they've had a great weekend here then, because they've yeah, taken the victory, a dominant victory there. And yeah, Rolly then is second, and I think Mando is just about going to get the final podium spot, what with the penalties at the end. But yeah, just a great drive there from Gamer Plays, who always looked in control of the race there, really. So yeah, I think they were very much deserving of the victory, and probably the driver of the day, I think you'd have to say. I don't normally comment on that, but yeah, if there is anyone who I think deserves it, it will certainly be them. So yeah, well done to them for that victory, and yeah, another great result there for Rolly in second. That's going to have helped him a lot in the championship, and also for Mando as well in third, who has been having some very consistent results as well. And there are the final results then. Gamer Plays did take the victory in the sprint as well then, so it was a victory from pole. Obviously they did lose the lead a couple of times when some people stayed out, but you know, ignoring that, it was pretty much a dominant drive from them. They handled you know, multiple safety car restarts, and yeah, just always looked in control of the race there. So yeah, a very well deserved victory there. Rolly in second place, as I mentioned, that's very helpful for them in the championship, and same for Mando, who is yeah, stringing together some good results there. Jim in fourth, yeah, completely faultless in that collision. That was entirely my fault, so yeah, apologies to them if that hampered their race in any way at all. Retro Cheesy in fifth, Kieran sixth, Taze on debut in seventh there. Incumbent Wolf, who we saw staying out earlier on the dry tyres, did still recover to eighth. Tombstone in ninth, and then Liam 10th and Mido in 11th place. Not sure what happened to them towards the end, but yeah, obviously something went wrong for them later on. That left them down in 11th and the last finisher there, but yep, still a couple of points for that. So yeah, I don't exactly know what the standings are yet, and I haven't actually tried to work them out, but if they're not on screen right now, then I'll put them in a comment once they've been published to us. But I imagine it's looking not so good for me compared to last week, and probably a lot better for both Rolly and Mando there, as they've both scored quite nicely there compared to me. So yeah, I imagine that'll have changed quite a bit. For us, we've just really got to try and put that mistake behind us then. That was yeah, quite embarrassing, I'm not going to lie, because it was just such a silly little error there that had very big consequences for my race. And yeah, it's just very frustrating, you know, because we'd already had, you know, the sprint race, had to battle through from 15th on the grid and that, just to, you know, get a decent grid spot. Doing well in the race, we were well in the podium fight, we were looking pretty good there with the strategy, and, you know, not picking up any penalties there to, you know, be on for a great result, and then, yeah, just threw it away with just the tiniest misjudgment. So, yeah, that was very frustrating, and as mentioned, quite embarrassing as well, but, yeah, we just got to try and put that behind us then, and move on to the next one. And it is at Hungary next, so a track I know quite well. Oh, very well in fact. I mean, it's been on the F1 calendar forever, so yeah, we were hoping for a good result there then, and yep, just put us one behind us then. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it then regardless of the end result. Hope to see you next week then. Obviously I'm still reserved, so it's not entirely guaranteed that I will be racing, but I mean, we managed to join everyone so far, so I'm hoping that it'll be the same again this week. And yeah, that'll round things up for today then. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.